Hello, welcome to a live, not live. So I'm live in the live chat if you're watching this while it goes out, but this part of the scrapbookiness is actually pre-recorded just a little bit in advance. So we're gonna jump right into the desk. This is the last video for Best of Both Worlds here on YouTube with the May kit. Not just forever, just for May, okay? So we start with the June kit on Monday, and there'll be the new July kit ready to go shopping for. But anyway, this is what I've made with May so far. So we've got a photo there, a photo here, and then we get into some multiple photos. We've got 2 on this one, 2 on this one, 2 again. I like 2 3x4s, but then 7 4x6 and 6 3x4s. Back to a single photo, which I do have on the layout now. And then 8 small photos in the last live stream. Then today I have 3. So all of those are all videos that are available to watch here on the May playlist, May 2024. And then this is the last one to go there. It's these 3 photos from the West End Flea Market, which is a joyous but very busy day of fun in the West End, where different shows all come and have little flea market stands where you can buy things from the shows, little bits of paper, other souvenirs, autographed things, all sorts of stuff like that. And all of the proceeds go to the Acting for Others charity. So we did that a couple of weekends ago. And so I have a photo of the crowd, a photo of the sign, and then a photo of what he spent his budget on. He managed to get something from each of his 3 favorite shows, which is very exciting. So he has a note and a rose from the OG, the opera ghost over at Phantom of the Opera. He has a patch of Cosette from the original production of Les Mis at the Barbican, and he has a signed letter from Hamilton to Eliza. There we go. Now, I have this paper in the kit that I have not used yet, so we're going to use that today, but I wanted to put it with something. So I wanted to show you this pink background. Depending on what you want to scrapbook, you might like it with this side, the very bright side, because it definitely works. All these colors are here on this side. But in looking at the red and blue branding, it is kind of all of the colors, because there's like a pinky purple plus the red and blue. We like more. It's fine. It just made me think it might be a little better with this side. So I get the hint of the pink and purpley tones that pick up over here, but it means that my blues are going to be a little bit more obvious. And I think that's going to feel better with these photos. But I think you could use either side with this paper and have a great match. So let me draw this out, what I'm planning today. And just to keep with the accidental theme of the month, it turns out that on every page this month, I have torn the paper, and I'm going to tear it one more time. So if Amy comes to watch this and anybody else who gets nervous about tearing paper, just pretend that I don't tear the paper, and you can just cut a straight edge, or you can cut it with a punch or a die if you want a fancy edge. Yes? Okay. I'm not sure. I've done this month's sketches with the brush pen, and I'm not sure if I love that. I think I might go back to a Sharpie next month, but it has been interesting. Okay. So we're going to have the 3 photos up to the top left of the page, all sharing one big mat. The torn paper is going to go here. So the heart paper is going to go here at the bottom, and that bit will be visible up here at the top. Now, I need to make sure that I cut the branding strip off this one, because those beautiful 49 in Market papers, I'm using the side that has the branding strip, so I'm okay. But last time I realized one of the layouts I just made it 12 and a bit, because see, the other side, they print it all the way to the bottom, which is beautiful, unless you don't realize, and then it doesn't fit in your album. So just saying, be careful. I love 49 market paper, so there's no problems. I'm all good. It was user error. It was not paper error. It was user error. Okay, super easy composition then, because we can put the title underneath here and we can do journaling elements here. But we're just going to play as we go with different elements that are left in the kit and how I can make those things be. Because, for example, this title could be individual letters, or this title could be some mixture of all of these words and phrases that I have. This journaling could be written, if you were using a different paper or you'd flipped it, you could write that straight on the background. Or I have this cut apart that I still need to use quite a lot of. Okay, and just to make sure you're aware, I don't use up every single scrap. That's not my goal in May, because then I continue to use the leftovers to scrap the rest of my stories throughout the month, and I share all of that in this year's story class. So there we go. Right, so I don't need to use every single piece and pile it all on one layout and feel like, oh, I ticked that box, because I will keep using it. It doesn't mean that anything I don't use today doesn't get used at all and just gets filed away forever. No, not at all. I'll keep using it, just in a different spot. It'll all go to the same place in my album. Right. Hello. My name's Shimelle. I teach online scrapbooking classes, design scrapbooking products, and help you use them to tell your stories in a creative way. It's not just my hobby, it is my job, and that means anytime you scrapbook on the internet, it's considered advertising, and legally I need to make sure you're aware of that. So thank you for coming to watch my hashtag advertising. I appreciate you being here, whether you are live, chatty, watch from Tomorrowland, quiet, craft, don't craft, think about coming back to craft, all of it. And the stuff that you might want to have links to is probably linked in the description box below the video. That means the supplies I've used all of this month for the May pages that are all in the May playlist, and also what I will start using on Monday, which is the June kit. So you can find links to all of those supplies in their nice little categories. So you know what I used in May and what I used in June. You can find links to my classes and that sort of stuff. Fabulous! Let's go. Right, so let's start by taking off this branding strip, and then we're going to tear that paper straight away. Oh yes. So if you're joining and wondering why does it sound like alive and look like alive, but it's not alive? So this scrappiness is filmed in advance, but I am live in the comments, and around here we call that live not live. So as it goes out, I'll be there to chit chat, but a typed chit chat today, and I'll do scrappy stuff here. Then next week, school's back in. We're back to a normal schedule. Monday, 1:30 p.m. UK time. Friday, 10 a.m. UK time. We are all good. Right, so I have this sort of 1/3, 2/3 background. And again, if you don't like torn paper, that's okay. You can make this a nice, straight, tidy edge. I want these 3 photos like that. And I want something to go behind them. Now, this color is kind of here, but I really like how this color lines up with that, so I don't really want to go with the blue-green because I like the royal blue. I have another blue-green, different shade of blue-green. That's not super useful. I have the green. Oh, that's much brighter when I put it next to it. I thought this might be close to this. No, it's very much brighter. Much brighter. I do have some of the pink from this side, and of course I could just take some of that and use that up here. And maybe that is my best bet. The other piece I have is too small to make the matte. Let's see if I like it on that before I cut it apart. I do actually. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. So this bit of the paper is all covered by the other side. I love that this person has a dinosaur jumper. Adorable. We wore matching jumpers, which people then commented on because we wore our jumpers that say a little bit dramatic, and it was a theater event. And then people were like, "Oh, that's so cute!" And they're like, "Oh, you match!" The true reason that we were matching was because this crowd is intense, and I thought if we match and we get separated, we will be easier to find. Plus, I was really glad that we wore a bright color because since it was a bit rainy, there was a lot of black and navy blue because everybody had coats on. And so anybody in a brighter color was much easier to see. And I didn't want to lose him in the crowd. I do recommend the event, but with the awareness that it is very busy. I wonder if it's starting to outgrow its venue. It's held at the Actors Church in Covent Garden, which is a lovely place to visit anyway, by the way, if you come to London. Oh, I have messed that up, but we'll straighten it up. There we go. Oh, nice one, Shimelle. That's where all the adhesive is. So it's at the garden of the Actors Church. There are a very limited number of early bird tickets, which I tried to buy. It's one of those fastest click sort of scenarios, and they all sold to the people who had the fastest click with the fastest internet connection. I tried. I was right there on time, but I did not get in the door. So we had to just go early and line up, and that's what all of these people you're seeing here also needed to do. Right. So we have this sort of scenario, and I want to bring in these blues, definitely. Yeah, beautiful space. The Actors Church has gorgeous garden in the spring and summer. And you can wander around the garden. There are memorials to a lot of actors. Some you may have heard of and some won't have. And the church is still a working church, but also does candlelight concerts and all sorts of things like that. This event, we couldn't stay for the whole time, but there was at one point in the day a spot where you could queue up to get autographs from named people appearing at the event. There was an appearance from the West End Performers football team, which was quite funny. They had a little game you could play to try and get like a fairground type football goal where the goal had all sorts of holes in different places. That was funny. Different casts on all of the different booths and all with different things. Shows that have been running a long time have a lot of stuff saved up that they could bring to sell, which was quite exciting. So we saw things that were old. Right, bringing the blues down here, but I also want to bring that title in here. Yeah, and then it's just a case of being patient. So you get to the stand for the show you want, and then you wait to move up to the front and see what's left on the table. Okay, so here's how I'm thinking this journaling could come down to the bottom edge. Why am I going straight to the bottom edge? Because if I want my title here in the middle, if I pull the journaling boxes up to the photo, then my title is going to sit over the top of them and I lose half the room for writing, which I don't want to do. I want to keep the room that I have for writing. I'm just trying to figure out which side I like this better on. I think I kind of like it better this way. And I do want my title to either sit on this horizontal line or under this horizontal line or maybe this horizontal line. I don't want it floating and unattached. But I can move something like this and put it on this bottom line rather than have it float here in the middle. Yeah? This is a stronger design choice to run it flush to the edge. Just trim off anything that goes over. Because now it's grounded to something. In this case, literally the ground of the layout, the bottom line. To have it just float in the middle is very complicated. It's not impossible, but you need to work really well with the things around. And I like to take the easy way out. So Here's the other thing you can do depending on how your photos are framed. You could place them behind the torn element. If you have taller journaling boxes, this could be a really good choice. Or if the bottom of your photos is really messy, like you have a photo that's composed in that, like the top 5/6 of the photo is much better than the bottom 6th, then you do it that way. Okay, but I think I'm all right here to go over the top, and then that gives me this space in the middle. So I'm going to take these down to the bottom edge. I think this one I can just run flush to the edge, and I'm going to trim off this one. The reason I brought this one down is because I don't want them square at the top. I want them a little offset. So then turn this over and just take off the extra. This one then is going to come up here, and let's have a look at this title. So from my words and phrases, I like these yellow ones. And I know there's not yellow in the heart paper, but he's wearing yellow. I'm going to pull yellow accents in. Do I even need an excuse to bring in yellow? I just like it. When we were wearing these jumpers, a lady stopped me in the street and just said, "I love yellow, so I love you," to both of us. And I was like, wow, that is a lady who is both positive and confident to just talk to strangers, but it did make us smile. So there we go. Right, so stickers. I can use that yellow one that says "Spread kindness like confetti." I want this yellow one that says "Awesome." And I'm thinking this one can automatically come right down to this corner. Seeing, do I like it over to the side or across this joint? And I like it across this joint. So it's going to go there. Now, is there anything else on here that fits? Smiley faces, they're on color. That's it for that one. This one is good and is the same style as that, so I could bring this up to the top. But I think that's it from this set. Then we have these. So I wonder about that blue together for the title. I think I can make that work. Okay, so I'm going to take this and pop it at the bottom here. And you can move things around when you're making a title go to the bottom edge. You can move it around to look at where you like things. So you might not like this space being trapped here, which means you either go all the way up here, which in this case, that's too big. I'm losing half the child. So you could bring it right down so it's just about to touch. And in fact, the H could touch, but not the others. So I think that might be my winner there. But I don't actually mind the little bit of trapped in the title because I mean, we do get some spaces within a title that are trapped. So I know I do talk about trapped space, but that's not particularly a bad one. But I think this thing lets me put in some other words, and I think that's going to be useful. Aha, Curiosities. I want that one. And one of the only pages, this month that has purple. Okay, so I want the word find. That one I'm going to need to spell out with my letter stickers. The thing I'm curious about is, do I go horizontally? Like Curiosities fits nicely here, but that doesn't necessarily help with the lettering here. So let's have a look. If I put this across the photo, is it in any way legible? It's got a little white edge, so actually it's not too bad. It got worse as I went on. The first couple letters were better. So let's look at options if we went this direction. I can just put it all in one long line. It's probably the most legible, definitely. The only thing I don't love is that it's flat and then raised, rather than, it would be nice if the order could be flipped there, but I'm not seeing that as an option, so we're gonna go with what's there. All right, this is going to come up to the top corner here. And I think I'm going to have that point to the name of the charity there. I've got kind of an outline that way. Okay, let's have a look at what kinds of embellishment we could get into the picture here, though. Again, lots of phrases about summer and sun, and it's cold and rainy even though we're in May. So I'm not sure there's anything here that's actually a good fit. What about in this one? Well, this is a good choice. We've got good stuff. This one could work. Have a ticket. And I'm just picking that for color rather than anything else. This page I've used less than I expected. So I'm interested to see if I end up using it more with the small stories as I finish the month of documentation. This pink can come in. Actually, let's have 2 little frames. And the pink camera. And the yellow circles. Trying to steer clear of the blue-green, although you could use it here, but I'm just trying to stick with this more royal blue. So ignoring that a little bit. This one, here's the details, would go really well. These are different collections, but really nice match in the greens there. Okay, so let's start with those and see what can work here. So in terms of yellow, I have yellow here and here, so I need to go to this sort of zone, and I'd like this underneath the title. So I'm going to pick up a couple letters here. Just that dresses up that side a little bit more. Let's have the yay with the amazing same corner. I'm going to tuck this in up here. It's going to go right to the top of the page, I think. Oh, I don't love it. It doesn't actually fit quite right. Okay, I'm gonna try something else up there. Let's try this label. Yep, that's gonna be better already. I'm curious now. Puffy, flat, than the thickery type one. I like it better. Okay, but I want to use this. So we're gonna go here and put 2 puffies together like that. Okay, where can I start to put these in? Let's try this one up to the side here. And I'm going to add in just a couple little angles. So I'm going to put this one down at the bottom and do the same sort of thing. So just that one on an angle, this one on an angle. Where I have 2 different journaling spaces next to each other, it can get very confusing as to whether this should just be written straight across or if it should be 2 columns. So here's a way that you can make it so that it's obvious. You put something in the middle and then it can't go across. It has to be 2 columns. You basically build a little column structure. So I'm putting all the stuff here in the middle and it'll journal down here and go back to the top and come down here. Right, where would I like my camera? You could put it with the title. You could bring it over there. You could bring it over here. Now, this is actually my favorite placement, but I know I'm going to run out of journaling room if I do that. So I'm going to go to my second favorite placement, which is here, and then bring it up to the top layer there. Now, let's look at some confetti options, and I've got yellow that I can bring here. Yes, I'm tying everything with yellow recently because I had this ball of, or spool of rather fancy twine in my stash for ages and wasn't using it, and then thought, you know what, if you just put it on your desk and every time you have a tag, use it together, and sure enough, now it's getting used. So I kind of, is that, I think some random bow that tied itself. I kind of like it, so I'm going to see if I can just loop it in like this. Why not? And then I think tuck the ends in around this side here. Yeah. I'm trying to steer clear of the blue-green, so I've got some royal blue on this one. I've got some royal blue here. So I'm going to bring the blue hearts, because I've already got hearts in this background. If I can do a tiny one up here, and then one with this grouping here. So I've actually got 4 little areas of embellishment today. And with that, I can do a dot on some of them, another heart. Actually, I've got 2 sizes of dots, so I can do a dot with each of those. And then something else blue. I have the navy blue, but then a little strange to have a circle and 2 hearts. So what if I go with second color? Yeah, I like this one. Something like, those just seem a bit too close together. Let's move the blue up. Like that. Okay. That will work. Then I have journaling space here. This is the only spot that I'm not loving because I've got this kind of awkward bit where the camera's floating and has this little empty square below it. So let's see if we can find something in here that I could tuck in there that will make it all a little happier to my eye. So we have, could tuck the top of that tag in there is one option. But the other thing I was thinking was that I could use something like another of these tickets, or another sticker underneath there and tuck it into the torn bit. So actually one of these would be really handy. So let's do this one that says the little things. And then I'm going to journal about the fact that he took 20 pounds and managed to get something from 3 different booths for his 20 pounds. Right, and that's going to have, could go with gold or silver, but I've done a lot of silver this month, so I'm going to go with gold today. Just to make sure I'm not, you know, completely ignoring the gold one. In those same spots where I've added the confetti, bring it down the side here to make a little corner. This side of the confetti here. And over here. There we go. So that is May, pretty much finished. Just have journaling to put on the few, kind of the second half of the month. And and then get that all filed into my album under May. And then in the next few days, I'll make my list where I go through my photo library and look at all of the stories that I want to tell for May. What have I already told? What do I still have left to tell? And of those stories that I still have left to tell, which things are big stories, so they need a 12 by 12 of their own, and which things are small or medium stories, so they need a smaller page or a pocket within a page. And I set up all of those other things, and that's what I cover in this year's story. So that's where all of these supplies will go to their little spot in my spinner so that I can use them there. And on Monday, we will break into the June Best of Both Worlds kit. If you enjoyed this layout or this video and you want to give it a thumbs up, that'd be super duper awesome, and I appreciate it very, very much. It helps me behind the scenes with YouTube, and it also helps you because it will help you get more of the kinds of videos that you like in your recommendations when you are scrolling on YouTube, and we all love that. I think that's it for now. Have a wonderful weekend, and thank you so much for joining me. I will see you very soon.